Hello everyone, and welcome to a Field of Glory 2 medieval multiplayer battle. I'm currently playing as the French 1050 list against a German Imperial 1050 list, so this is kind of the first expansion, or the first, not expansion, the first, like the base set of the game. So if you just buy the game with no DLC, this is the kind of units and forces you'll be kind of expecting, at least some of them anyway. In this instance, we have maximized our number of knights that we can bring. This is due to the fact that the map is pretty flat for the most part. However, notably, our enemy has this patch of rough ground, which is going to make it difficult to fully envelop our enemy. As well, he's got this 100 height hill, 200 height hill that's going to cause some serious issues for us if we try to flank around this way. And, worrisomely, he has this deployment in the center here that has some infantry, some really heavy spears that are going to be harder to break, as well as some crossbowmen that are going to be able to shoot us if we just get into melee. So taking a second here to think about things, he has most of his lights on this side. He probably anticipated that I was going to want to flank over this way. I think what would be advantageous for us is, since he has such a good defensive position, I don't think he's going to advance very quickly out of here. So ideally what we want to do is use our skirmishers along with a combination of like maybe one or two of our knights in order to be able to kind of just push these off and deal with them. As we have 4 light archers and he has only 2 and 2 light crossbows, we should in theory win this engagement pretty handily, and we may even be able to kind of draw him out of this position. But for now, I don't think we're gonna move from this position very much, if at all. At most, we might move these infantry forward a little bit just because they don't have the speed of the knights, but ideally here we don't want to walk into this, I don't think. So yeah, let's get our units moving. Kind of move them in this diagonal shape here, and then you know, you wouldn't think much of it, but moving our infantry 1 or 2 spaces here could be really interesting to think about. So if we look at these knights here, they're going to be able to go, I think, 3 forward. Let's see. Probably 3 forward here. So 1, 2, 3. Then they can go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can go another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we move up 2, that's exactly within his range, but if we move up any further than that, then that's going to like lower the distance between these units further. And that's if he feels like piling some knights over onto this side. Now, if things do get a little rough, I mean, we have plenty of knights. We went with the max, which is 11. At most, he can bring 8, and I don't know that he has. Now, he could be hiding more in this forest. I haven't actually counted how many points he's using. But basically, I think that if we get into a situation where we draw him out of this position, we're going to be looking really, really pretty. But yeah, there's just no way we push this hill, and there's not really a way we push this rough ground either. But if we push the center, these crossbows are just going to chew us to pieces. So I think honestly, probably one of our best bets here would be to kind of go for maybe this section here, if we're trying to not just like have a draw. And the reason that we want to go for this section specifically is because if we can kind of lock down some of these like dismounted knights and low country spears, as well as these like if we lock down these units, we can get into the crossbowmen easier. Now he does have his own knights that he can utilize in that situation. But anyway, you can see that this is kind of a tricky situation for me. We're going to have to just find a way to leverage these knights, as the French list just does not have any medium foot to go into rough ground for this kind of situation. I'm happy with where the light archers are. Again, I don't think I'm going to move except for these infantry to start, because the cavalry can very easily just move forward whenever they want to. These units can go forward or through the side, because early knights have the same mobility as regular horse, making them a bit interesting in that sense. However, they are also less armored, meaning that these crossbows are even deadlier than they would be to some of the later knights. Anyway, that's turn 2 technically, but turn 1 for me. and I'll see you in the next turn. Alright, next turn. So this is going to be, I think, turn 3 or 4 for us. Let's see. Just watch his movements, see what he's up to. Of course he's going to hold this hill. He'd be stupid not to, right? But we're just not going to engage on it. That's just not something we're remotely interested in. I do find it interesting that he is kind of pushing with this interesting checkerboard formation that he's going with. We're going to see how effective it actually is at the end of it all, but the thing about our force is that it's much more mobile, so we don't necessarily have to engage this on his terms, which is really nice. Now, again, conveniently, his skirmishers actually lose to ours in theory because we have more archers and he's got more crossbowmen, so we're just gonna keep pushing here. I think his goal here is to kind of like stop us in this choke point, and I don't think we're gonna let him do that. I don't think we're gonna let him do that like at all. So this unit can move 1, 2, 3. Let's try to wait on for a second. 1, 2, 3, and then he can shoot within close out to here, but only long out to here, so that's perfect because we can move these knights and sergeants to here to start. As our light archers, you know, running as fast as they can, trying to get here. How many turns is this gonna actually be able to push us kind of into this area? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So realistically about 3 more turns. So we have 3 turns to kind of reorganize and get our units moving here. I think we're going to leave the lights in the forest for just 1 more turn. Let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I think actually the light archers are kind of safe here. And then if we move the knights to here, he'll have to make a choice, right? And then we'll be able to push his units off with the knights, starting on his next turn. So we'll kind of keep this command together. It's 5 knights. That should be sufficient to kind of corral this. Because if we look at this, let's see. So like in 2 turns, we're going to have already like wrapped, basically. And the thing about his checkerboard formation here is, I think it's a very good defensive formation, but I don't know if it's going to be able to push the way that he might want to, and we could potentially use that to our advantage. So the rest of these units, I think we do need to keep. Let's see. So this is going to leave a gap of about 2 units, and we don't want any of these units in reserved, just kind of sitting there doing nothing. So I think we need to move, looks like another 3 units out would be my estimation. Yeah, probably another 3 units out. So let's just get ready to do that. We're going to keep them kind of in a line. Here conveniently lets us know when we've sufficiently organized the line, and yeah, we're just gonna really try to use our enhanced mobility, as it were, to get an advantage here. Next turn, let's see what we got. Yeah, he knows I'm trying to shift right. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep up with me enough, though. It's going to be interesting to see, because I'm able to widen my flank faster than he can with his infantry, I think. So we're going to hopefully be able to kind of wrap around him a little bit. Now he's doing something kind of interesting with his lights here. He's just getting ready to anticipate mine. We're gonna see if he, you know, has a good understanding. or how he's going to react to my lights coming out of the woods here. Because I think we can get half or full arc on these light crossbowmen potentially. Unfortunately, he is going to have some shots on these knights here, so I wonder if we could fake him out a little bit. You know, he thinks I'm just pushing for this like super wide like right flank, and then in reality he's actually unintentionally given me this 50 height hill to work with, and frontally these raw spears are kind of in the way. If he moves those though, he can move these knights, let's see, 1, 2, 3 to here, which is maybe a little less than ideal. I think what we might want to do is just advance this line forward a little bit more, then move these low country spears onto this hill here. I think that'll be a great position for them. So let's give that a shot. Yeah, tricky. Let's see. So, if we move here like this, what can we reasonably expect next turn? So, I think if we move this way with some of our units, so probably these three would be relocating to this this front here. We can maybe catch them a little bit off guard. And something I'm liking is, you know, he's not going to be able to focus fire with these crossbowmen, and something else is all of his lights are over on this side, so they're not going to be able to provide, like, concentrated fire unless, or concentrated shot unless they are able to shoot at, like this range here. So, interesting. Let's see. Yeah, because if we move here, I think he can shoot us if he, 1, 2, 1, 2, yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, well, let's have our lights say hello. Okay, confirm. Naturally. We're going to give them full arc, but what we're not going to do is give them full distance, I think. And otherwise we're just going to keep moving these units around the flank, I think. Oh, this could be... Okay, here's how we do this, I think. So, we use the lights to screen these crossbows so that they can't just shoot us as they approach, at least not as much as they might want to, because they don't actually have a way of shooting these yet, or chasing these off yet. So these will actually block their line of sight onto our units, which will allow us to get a little bit closer without getting disrupted. There's not really like a super safe way to approach here. We're basically depending on the superior quality of these knights to not just break. I don't actually know if 2 long-range shots from crossbows, especially after moving, is going to consistently disrupt knights and sergeants anyway. My suspicion is no, but I'm going to try to play around it anyway, I think. And let's just have the rest of the knights kind of form up. just making this line as wide as possible. Again, one of these knights is probably going to get disrupted. We're just going to kind of anticipate it, I think. I think what we're going to do is keep the general safe for now, and then whoever they manage to disrupt will throw on, and then they'll just have to sit out of the fight. But again, these are going to be able to wrap around, I think. I don't think he's going to be able to actually stop us from doing that. So, okay. We can actually count how wide this is going to be. So we've got an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to be able to wrap out to here, it looks like. So, alrighty, let's see what we got. It's still hanging out in the back. Next turn. Recording window might look a little weird. My recording software decided not to pick up the game for whatever reason. Anyway, to recap the turn, he continued pushing his forces forward. Not particularly surprising here. But we're just going to continue to kind of widen our flank a little bit. And let's see, can we do anything about these archers? I don't know if we can get a disruption or not. I don't think we can, but I think continuing to use the lights to kind of screen for our cav here is a good idea. If we lose these lights, I mean, it's no big deal. The main thing is just setting up positionally, getting these units in a position where they can be useful and start generating value for us, so to speak. And we really want to be in a position where he has to push on us because those crossbowmen won't be able to shoot as well in that specific scenario. No, we're going to want to move these spearmen up here for the most part. I'm feeling a little hesitant. These knights will technically be on flat ground, which is less than ideal. But, let's see, I think we can move here and shoot, right? Yeah, so let's try that. Give these knights a couple of shots. I just got a check there. Alright, we are actually able to charge here. Let's give it a shot. Okay. These dismounted knights are not going to break very easily, so we should definitely be a little warier of engaging them. Same with these ones. He's got these super elite infantry in the front here. I think our best call is to just do the Knight's Table. Just continually cycle charge them until we can cause them to potentially break. What's our loss chance here? Only 3%? I think that's relatively safe. I'll take that. We are in full arc of these crossbows now, which sucks, but what can you do, right? Let's just get ready to charge on the next turn. I think we'll hold on to these knights, because I think the thing is, if he's going to want to shoot at max range, you know, that lets us safely charge these units, and once one of these disrupts and we can actually get a unit to stick, that's going to let us charge into these squishy crossbowmen pretty easily. It's kind of a risky thing doing a checkerboard for that reason. Next turn. Okay, interesting. Charges, disrupts on the charge. Alright. Let's try to disrupt. Oh, unfortunate. Further disruptions, yep. Okay, held firm on that one, thank goodness. Chases off my lights, but importantly, that leaves these crossbows potentially in the open here, so Yeah, here we go. So, this unit here. We're gonna force this unit to stick. And then... let's see. If we prep a charge for next turn, there's a chance we frag. We'll just have to take that risk, unfortunately. These are raw spears. I think we just win against those. Let's go ahead and shoot these knights after we zone them out. We don't charges raw spears, why not, right? We lose on the charge there, and this game is going all over the place. Oh, but thankfully we got the frag on those low country spears. That's awesome. Alright, so... let's think about this. So yeah, we've got some frag units. It's a problem. I wonder if this causes them to retreat. Yep, they evade. Yeah, because they don't want to get charged. Cool. Alright, and because these are the lighter knights, this is something I really like about them. We can actually charge into these defensive spears. Got the disruption. Perfect. Can we go that far in turn? Unfortunately, no. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. If we outnumber him 2-1, you know, logic dictates he loses, but we'll see. Alright, do we use the charge trick again? I think it's definitely something we're considering. Such a cheesy, like, checkerboard. Jeez. Alright, only at 29 on those low country spears. It's kind of unfortunate. We have to cross 2 zones of control to get to them too, because of the checkerboard, which is just unfortunate. Alright, let's go for it. Okay, failure to charge. Expected as much, to be honest. Okay. He's probably feeling good about himself about that. Prep a charge there. Well, better yet, prep a charge here, so he's still long range shooting. Okay. Right. Those will evade as well. Zone him out. Can't get a general on these knights, so I think we're gonna just have them stay put for the time being. And then... really? Yeah, this is rough. So... yeah, 27% is just not great. He's got the general to shore up that one. Alright. Well... don't want to charge this unit because these 2 units have already charged. He's got a general on him. And when we fall back, it's going to be awkward because it'll block this unit. So, probably what we do is start cycle charging this unit. And we're just going to pray we get a break, basically. Because that's about all we can do at this point. I think something else we do here is we get this unit prepped to get behind this one to, again, get past the Zoc. Really unfortunate here that we were only able to do that with this unit, but yeah, we'll see how it pans out. We'll see if we break or not. And that's all we got. Turn. It's been a few days since I've played this one, so yeah, I was afraid of that frag happening tragically. Let's see how bad this disruption and fragging gets. Still just utterly stunned that this the spears got trashed as badly as they did. And my knights are just not holding at all, unfortunately. Okay, those break off. He pushes those knights in. Ooh, we got a win there, that's huge. Let's see, it looks like he's going to try to move that unit of knights around. I think the correct thing to do here is honestly to just pile this unit in and then go for the, we're actually kind of low on combat strength on this unit. I didn't realize that. That's unfortunate. Alright, so I think the correct thing here is to pile in. I don't think our general is within range, sadly. Otherwise we would want to transfer here, but I think that that's fine. I think probably what we want to do here is transfer to this unit, and then have this unit stick in. Okay, let's stick. Then we'll give this unit another cycle charge. Okay, bounce again. Jeez, man, okay. And yeah, let's give these knights a little bit more competition. So this unit should be closer to winning as well. But every casualty we inflict, we're going to get closer to inflicting that combat modifier. Curiously, let's see. Try to push off some of these crossbows. Kind of create a block for them. Oh, that's a lucky disruption. Okay. Move these here, get ready to push in on those. Light units. Excuse me, clearing my throat. And then what we'll do is zone this unit out. Okay, leave the general in this unit, hopefully it rallies soon. Now here's where it gets a little bit trickier. So So something we could do here. First of all, this unit's gonna shatter, right? So we should get the general off of it. It's just not gonna work out. I think probably what we want to do here is we'd like to get this unit stuck and then prep a flank. And for that purpose, I think we want to give them a general. I think that would be the wiser thing to do here. Man, that's still extremely painful. This unit might disrupt, but we'll see. It just depends. So okay, then we're gonna fall back. That's fine. And then that unit's also in a position to fall back if he feels like it. But I think we can probably pretty safely get him stuck in here. Only a 13% chance to lose. Okay, that'll help that unit out. Hopefully they can stabilize in a semi-reasonable amount of time here. And let's see. I mean, nothing for this unit to do except cycle charge, basically, so, yeah. And it's going to have predictably terrible results. Let's give this unit another try. Got the disruption. It's excellent for us. Let's go ahead and give these units some shots. Because he's going to want to charge downhill. We've got a general on this unit, though, so he should hopefully be a little bit more resilient to that. And man, I would just would love if we could get this unit pinned, but I don't think that that's realistically going to happen. This unit's going to break next turn, and it's going to suck. Probably what would be ideal here is to we just try to break this unit faster. I mean, it's risky, but better than getting shot at. Zone that unit out. This unit is just getting absolutely, like, trashed, basically. We can charge across his zone of control here. So what we're going to do is exactly that. Make this unit unable to withdraw. Go for the flank. Get the frag. That's fucking beautiful. And zone this unit out. Okay, just a quick analysis. So this unit's probably going to shatter next turn. This unit probably shatters due to the crossbows, which is fine. Not flanked by this unit. Only flanked by this unit. Actually, I think that's too far away for him to flank. Yeah, because that's 3 diagonal, so I think that's just slightly too far. We've got these 2 units winning against this one slowly, but then this unit's also going to get involved. However, with these knights over here, we're actually in a really good position to kind of break apart some of these units. And this flank is holding a lot better than I had hoped. Unfortunately, these knights are going to get trashed. That's just kind of the way it goes sometimes. And probably, yeah, he probably tries to break this unit so that he can flank charge this one. To do that, though, yeah, he's going to have to get a disruption or a frag using his crossbows, which is definitely doable. Probably charges in with the knights, and then he can get his flank charge. So, not ideal, but we've already fragged these spearmen, and then doing so might make it easier to trash these knights. So that's kind of what we're gambling on here. And I mean, gambling is never a good strategy, but hey, sometimes it's all you got, so. Next turn. Oh my gosh, those full they held. Ugh. And they're gonna get run off by those knights anyway, but a lot of frag knights here. Getting pretty ugly. Goes for the flank on those knights. Completely sensible. Those break. Those hold. Charge, get disrupted on impact. Excellent. Okay, those break. They hold. They get flanked. Take damage but hold. Downhill against the spears. They get disrupted. Raw spears are holding excellently for him, of course. Okay, he generals up on those. Unfortunate, but okay, what are you gonna do? And those spears break. Okay, that's a useful rally, but still not like a winning situation for our units here. Let's see. So, kind of a weird decision here. Can we take this melee? I really want units to be like out of the way here. So, probably we just charge this unit, right? That would be like the sensible thing to do. Trying to see if there's like any way I can do something with this unit. I think maybe we charge with this unit of knights. Here. Get the frag. Bounce off here. Great. Okay, winning this melee slowly. Prepare these knights to begin moving in. Now here's the rub. So Not flanking this unit immediately. I wonder if we let this unit break first. We actually have a flank charge on these low country spears. They do break. He gets the flank charge. We hold. Go for our own flank charge. They frag. Okay. Let's see if we can win a few more melees here. Okay, no wins. It's okay. Gonna lose this 99% loss. Hold firm. Alright. Go for the one of these raw spears. Still no dice. Again, still just extremely disappointed that this could be like a match-defining loss here, that these defensive spears lost in melee to these raw spears. Yeah, not super thrilled about that. Praying desperately that these spearmen rally, but it's pretty poor chances, all things considered, that that's even going to happen. Take this. This is a winning engagement here, so we'll go for that. They frag and fall back. And this melee is going poorly. Oh my gosh, what a lucky... That was a 10% and he dropped? Okay, that's huge. Okay. And then we then we lose like a 5% and disrupt as well. This battle, it's pretty chaotic. Alright. We'll shoot his lights. Why not, right? Peasants are still looking idle, which is fine. I'm not really sure what I want to do with these lights. Let's see. Is there much we can do? I mean, realistically, right? Probably what we'd be looking to do with these lights is shoot at things that are like running through. So maybe we just set them up to do that, because I don't think they can reasonably get anywhere else in time to engage anything else. Alright. Next turn. Gets a lucky rally, which, I mean, it's a superior unit with generals, not particularly lucky. Kind of expected if you think about it. It's crossbowmen doing their work. Both infantry spears go for a flank charge. Gets the flank on my knights, which turn. And they're out fragmented. Okay, my own knights fall back. Spears holding firm, but we're desperately hoping for a rally or something. Okay. We do get a break here. Not a flank charge. It's kind of a shame. Would have been much more useful if it was. Okay, these spears do rally. It's good. Now, kind of have a choice here. We can charge into these crossbows, which is a pretty safe bet. He sets up a flank in 2 with the knights and sergeants, or we can just go for those knights and sergeants, which are disrupted. This is a pretty safe win, I feel like. 46 against his knights. They hold firm, but they've taken heavy losses at this point. These low country spears starting to finally push through these raw spears a little bit. Don't win that combat. We're even here. Okay, good. Alright. Now, let's see. A lot of kind of unfortunate situations going on here. So, let's see if we can't get something to happen here. Let's try to push through these spears. They break. No disruptions. The knights turn in kind of the wrong direction for us, unfortunately. Okay, those knights hold. Let's see. see if this unit bounces before... Oh, he stays in. Alright, let's see if this unit breaks, most likely. Yep. They hold firm. That is not a flank. And due to the positioning of these dismounted knights, I mean, we gotta risk something here, right? So the question becomes again, you know, which unit do we count on breaking? I think we go for the crossbows. 85% win versus 64 on the other knights and sergeants. Probably, even if we transfer the general, we're just kind of delaying the inevitable here. I think we go for we keep the general on this unit to break these crossbowmen faster. Okay, they do get that penalty to cohesion checks, and for the moment, I don't believe this counts as a flank. He can set one up for next turn, but that gives us time to push in on these crossbowmen, potentially. Now, this situation is fairly grim. We do have a 63% win here on these dismounted knights, though, so we'll go for it. No disruption, tragically. Go for a win here with 31%. No dice. Let's have this unit lose real quick. Let's see how that pans out. He charges us, loses the impact, allowing us to get a disruption on him. Perfect. Who else do we have left? We have these archers. I think we're going to move here to get ready to potentially pepper some of these units with some shot. And these light archers are in a little bit of an unfortunate position, but we'll kind of move them out of the way and get ready to potentially shoot these knights and sergeants next turn. I don't know. We'll see about that. And that's it. Next turn. Take the root charge. I mean, you know, we'll take his lights, right? They break pretty quickly there. Those light crossbows also break. And, you know... oh, we get another rear attack here, although these knights are now severely disordered, which is less than ideal, to say the least. Okay, those knights hold. Okay, he does push him with the low country spears, which are going to be winning against these defensive spears. He does go for the charge with his dismounted knights and sergeants, sticks. He goes for the charge with his low country spears. They should lose impact, they hold. Finally, those raw spears break, or disrupt at least. Okay, we killed the enemy general here. And we run those knights off the map, along with two of our own knights, so... neck and neck for the moment, although I do think that positionally he's in a much better situation here. One of our knights does rally. Our defensive spears also rally, putting them in a much better position. Let's see... We lose this, like, very clearly, just lose on the charge uphill here. But if they stick, if we don't disrupt, we're in a good position here. They do hold. Okay, good. Now, let's push in with these low country spears. We get an auto break on the raw spears. I didn't even realize they were that far down. We could have actually waited, potentially gotten a disruption on these before we charged. Now, his low country spears are going to be in a very bad position. They break. Okay, we're up 15. However, these knights are about to get chewed on. Yep. And so are these ones. They're going to get a flank charge next turn, so... not looking good in that regard, and not particularly liking either this engagement here. Just for the simple reason that, you know, knights shouldn't be fighting in the rough. Every turn that these lights hold is, like, bad, like, really bad for us. So, we'll go ahead and charge here. Even though we're going to auto-break pretty quickly here. Okay, we are winning this melee, thank goodness. And this unit's going to start getting chunked. Yep, there we go. Alright, anything else we can do this turn? We can start moving these knights back, although Honestly, I think they need to just, like, run away, because these knights are pursuing. They're going to catch them relatively quickly there. We have a couple of lights left. Can we really do anything with them? These have 2 ammo left, which is pretty good. Let's go ahead and go for a disruption on these knights here. Can we move that far in turn? Yeah, we can. So now we're out of his arc of charge. He didn't get the disruption, but that's okay. If he decides he wants to turn and get a flank on these knights, we've got full ammo on these 2 units still. We could potentially get a frag. That would be really, really huge. And he is disrupted, although he could very much rally next turn with that general. And I think that that's going to be it for this turn. We'll take a pot shot at these raw crossbows just for spite. And then I think that that's it for us. Yep. Next turn. Got some nice routing. These knights, again, are just in a really bad spot. It's the flank attack on these knights and sergeants. It's going to look really ugly for them soon. Alright, he's going for the disrupt on these knights. Does not get it. Alright. Oh, no, they do auto break. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, general falls. No lost cohesion checks, though. Ooh. That was a really good engagement there. And these knights are going to be in trouble soon, too. Okay, we do get the break on these light crossbows. Sadly, the knights are going to be charging after them. Okay, one of our units of knights rallies. We're going to have them run into the forest to try to get away. Same with these knights here. Just going to have them try to delay contact with these knights here for as long as possible. Something really funny we could do, well, no, I guess we couldn't get there in time, is I was thinking we could potentially get these peasants out of the built-up area and into the rough, which would be kind of funny, but he's going to be able to, I think, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and just like completely run past it on his turn, so yeah, not really an option realistically. So kind of a big moment. If we can break these crossbowmen, that puts us in a pretty good position. Okay, they do frag. Let's see if we get the break. Okay, they hold. So tragically, this unit's about to get flanked. Very sad. We will take our full shots on these knights, see if we get a disruption. We do get the disruption. He's still going to get the flank, tragically, but that is, you know, at least 1 point in our favor, right? Okay, now how do we want to handle this? So, on the one hand, we are zoning this unit out. On the other hand, we need this unit to break. So, we're just going to start slowly maneuvering these spearmen to get into a position where they can actually do that. Yeah, we could have maybe transferred the general here onto these low country spears, but it just doesn't matter, right? Like, we can't charge him. We will always lose that impact, more or less, and then he'll just bounce off anyway. So, ideally what we need to do here is get these spearmen behind these knights. And we're in a position to do that now, but it is going to take a minute. So, let's see. This situation is also looking fairly grim. Alright, and I think that's it for this turn. We'll see what happens next turn. I just don't think there's much we can do at this point, tragically. Well, we do have this unit of lights here. I guess we should get them moving. Maybe they can go do something useful somewhere else. It's not going to be here, though. Next turn. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's obnoxious. Okay, those knights break. And these knights are going to get surrounded and crushed shortly here. those knights frag. Does set up a flank on these knights. They frag. Okay, they hold firm for one melee, at least. Okay, we do break his crossbows. Okay, we get a rally on these knights and sergeants. Let's have them spit out the other side here. Okay, so let's check out the situation here. Yeah, again, we're just gonna have to slowly try to run around and like flank this unit here. These two knights are going to break, unfortunately. But before they do, let's make sure we go ahead and get some units out of cohesion check range. We're gonna have these knights start making their way back. Send these lights out to go hunt down those lights. And still have really high ammo on a lot of our own lights here, so we might be able to do something with that, although I'm not quite sure what yet. Let's see. I'll turn that unit back around in case they, you know, eventually rally at some point and can contribute something to this fight still. A little bit doubtful about that, but hey, what can you do? How interesting that he was able to get a flank attack from that. I wouldn't have suspected that. It's interesting. Well, I mean, next turn he's like very obviously going to charge in and try to get that set up, although I don't think he's going to be able to get these knights to stick. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. Real quick though. Let's see. These are on low ammo. These are not on low ammo. Get a 5 and... Oh, nice. Okay, that's a pretty big frag, I would say. That could impact the match in some way here. Okay, those knights break. These knights are also going to break. I'm not even going to choose which way to resolve this, I don't think. Because we're just losing all around, so... Yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, where do you want to lose the most? Okay, there we go. Disruption. Alrighty. Don't really know if there's much else to be done this turn. Yeah, I think that's it. Next turn. Our 15-point lead is deteriorated to a 4-point at this point. These knights are almost certainly going to break. And the situation at this point is just dire. I mean, even though we're even on points, I mean, there's not really a whole lot I can do in terms of actually, like, winning this match at this point. Like, I just lack the units required to do so. And yeah, he's probably going to wait for those frag knights to rally. Breaks those lights pretty easily. Yep. Oh, we'll move these knights back out. And these ones as well. I don't imagine they'll do too much more at this point in the match, but... Gonna get out of range of these knights here. And pretty much at this point, I mean, what do we even do, right? All I really can do at this point is try to push him with these spears, but given how immobile they are, right, there's not a whole lot I can do. Plus, you know, he's got these knights here that are still in good condition, and positionally, I mean, this is just like a really bad situation. I don't even know if there's anything we can do with these spears. I mean, not in an amount of time that would change the course of this match anyway. And yeah, those knights auto break. We're down to 46%. These knights, however, can potentially get back in the fight. So maybe we start by trying to get them re-involved, as it were, but as far as actually getting like value out of some of these units, I mean, man, this is just not a great situation. You think about putting these low country spheres into square. This would have a couple of advantages. they're in a fantastic position to kind of hang out on this hill, right? The problem is we've already moved these defensive spears to this position, so if we square up here, he could potentially take these knights and zone these out so they can't move anymore, which we don't really want. Maybe what we do is we hold that there until next turn, and we just wait till these knights are able to rejoin. That might be worth considering. But yeah, at the moment, even though the scores are not particularly far apart, I think the situation just looks particularly dire. And what to do with these spears, right? So, I think the obvious thing to do here is to get onto this 100 height hill. I think this would, let's see, if we move here, he can't get to us with those dismounted knights, I don't think. And especially if we were, you know, to go here or here, he's not going to be able to catch us with those knights until, like, next turn. And if we have a 100 height advantage, you know, that's obviously going to make things a lot better for us here. So, we'll see. I mean, at some point he's going to go and run these knights down, right? Like, he's going to shoot at them, like, next turn with these crossbows here. Might even move here and just zone them out. Probably should have just had them keep running, to be honest, but what can you do? The match is more or less where it's at this point. We'll see if I can scrape a win here, but I'm not feeling particularly good about it. Next turn. And yeah, those knights gonna get fragged and probably broken next turn. Oh, some of our lights rallied. I mean, we're gonna try to evacuate them, but pretty dubious there. Although, now that is intriguing. These knights are so close to breaking. Although these fragged archers are out of ammo, so we're definitely just gonna have them leave. Speaking of which, this is so desperate. Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna have these knights turn back around again. Like, unless they rally, there's just nothing they can do. And, I mean, I don't even think... He probably hasn't spotted these peasants yet, either. It's a very interesting question that I wonder. Go ahead and turn these light archers and start shooting these knights. Great. And then we're going to be cheeky here. We're going to square up. We're going to transfer the general. And then we're going to move on to this 100 height hill, is what we're going to do. Because this might be our only hope at actually salvaging this match. And the good news is, I mean, even with these general knights, you know, we've got a general of our own, we're up on the higher ground. You know, if he wants to charge this, he can. I don't know that, let's see, these crossbows aren't on low ammo yet, so that could be a potential problem as well. But if he decides to get stuck in on these low country spears, we've got knights of our own that are coming back as well. Now, something else to consider is he does have these low country spears that will arrive in about 3 turns. That could potentially be a problem as well. In the meantime, we're going to keep shooting these knights and sergeants and try to get these lights close enough that they can shoot them as well. We'll see how well that works out. Next turn. And yeah, these are going to break. Most likely. There we go. Okay, so as far as this turn goes, we're gonna keep running away with these lights. Start running with these knights. Alright, we're going to turn and face with these defensive spears, and I'm going to go ahead and give them the general real quick. We're going to move these spears up to the top of the hill, hopefully to be able to turn around next turn. And then as well, we're going to go ahead and ride to the top of the, or at least to this side of the hill with our knights. So if he approaches, we're going to be able to potentially do some serious damage to him. We will go ahead and come out of square, just to zone these knights, you know, stop them from doing anything silly. And let's go ahead and get some more casualties on these knights. If we can get them to break, that would be awesome. But obviously things are still looking rather grim for us. Need a pretty lucky series of breaks here. But I do feel good about this position. If he tries to, for example, if he pins these defensive spears, which should be a bad engagement for him, as we do have the 100 height hill. Even if he tries to pin those with these dismounted knights and tries to recharge these defensive spears, we do have the 100 height hill, and we would be able to join into the fray with these knights and sergeants next turn with a 100 height advantage. So that could potentially be huge. We'll see if that ends up turning out the way that I hope it would. Got some lights that rallied, that's fine. I mean, you know, I say that, but... Okay, he does go for the charge. Alright, he sticks it, sets up for auto drop next turn. Choices. Well, despite being uphill, we actually don't have that much of a chance to break these units here, and unfortunately, without a general here, it gets a little bit awkward trying to stop this unit. Actually, we do better than I thought we did. It's actually not bad. 29% on impact, 21% in melee. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I'm surprised by this, but it is because we have a 100 height hill. So we're definitely going to just go for that, I think. Turn these spears to cover this flank possibility, and we're slowly winning against these dismounted knights as well. Nice, get another win there. So that's looking even better for us. Alright, see if we can't get these knights to auto break, really. It's gotta just be like one more turn on those or something, right? Alright. Yeah, I think we go for this, honestly. Okay, nicely done. Yeah, there's just, we can't charge this unit, sadly. And we've kind of committed to auto-breaking these knights here. We do have full ammo still. But I think it would be better to, we've still got 8 turns, to get these lights over in this direction to where they can potentially start shooting these knights. That way we could get them off the field as well. Here's hoping he doesn't spot the peasants, right? I don't know at what range they become visible, but this might actually be relevant soon. That's pretty funny. Alright, yeah, we have no reason to push these off yet. We're slowly winning this melee because of the hill. Slowly winning this melee, and then we're going to be able to cover these two as well. The big question becomes, are we going to be able to successfully stop them prior to that moment? But we will see. We will see. It's looking really close. Next turn. Okay, those melees more or less continuing as expected. These knights running for their lives. Shoot these knights again. We gotta be like 1 or 2 casualties away from breaking. Alright, let's attack here. Okay, no dice. Probably ideally we move here and cover here to cover this unit's flank. Slowly winning on these spears, slowly losing on these knights and sergeants. I mean, what else can we really do here? Well, I guess these lights, we can start moving this way to go and break these knights over here. Kind of a long shot, but definitely not worth shooting this turn though. If we only get like 4 casualties or something, I mean maybe it is worth it. I don't know. Let's do it. Yeah, only 1. I mean it was a little bit more than 1. There was actually they went from 63 to 61, so got a little bit more value out of that. Yeah, not much to that because this unit's still zocked, so pushing it off would actually be bad for us. So yeah. Those low ammo crossbows. Okay. That's got a disruption here, got a win here. Oh my goodness, so many knights. Okay, he does just go ahead and charge these defensive spears. Allows him to set up a flank in 2 turns. Let's see if we can break these dismounted knights by then. Okay, they actually auto-break, which is awesome. If we wanted to, we could move the general to these spears here. It's probably a good idea. But I don't know how much it's actually going to matter here. At any rate, let's see. Just keep this melee going. Continuing to win more and more, which is good. However, we're still kind of stuck in this terrible, awful position here. Let's just keep shooting these knights, I guess. I know it's long distance shooting, but we gotta make something happen here. Still no auto break. See, they're down to 53. So I don't know if any of these are gonna break before the match is over, sadly. It's looking like just a very slow, inevitable defeat here. And honestly, it's kind of hilarious. If he never spots these peasants, it's going to be kind of funny, honestly. But, yeah, there's not much else to do. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? No, I didn't think so. Next turn. And, yep, there's the flank setup. At this point, we've just lost too much material. What the heck? Let's give this a try. Okay, we hold firm. They fall back. It's fine. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so they lose, hold firm, but we're gonna get flank charge next turn, so not really much we can do there. And yep. Another even melee here. See if we can't break these knights. Still no auto break. We're probably just 1 turn off. Well, he's going to push those off next turn most likely. And yep, this is looking pretty over, I would say. Next turn. This is going to be over very quickly here, I think. Yep, there's the flank. Crunch. They disrupt. And those break, and then, yeah. There we go, 64%. We never did break those unit knights. Oh well. Alright, so that's game. Well done to Batan here. Had a perfect like checkerboard set up to deal with the preponderance of knights that I brought. I think the answer to a situation like this with these like super heavy like checkerboard like type setups is you'd have a lot of your own infantry to be able to deal with this stuff, and lists like these French lists are pretty inflexible in that the primary thing that they bring are the knights, and in this early French list in particular, when you've still only got the early knights, spearmen tend to do like a lot better, I think. It's my impression anyway. Yeah, that checkerboard that he used is a really, really good one. In between finishing this mirror, I've done another one entirely where I kind of copied that setup, and it's actually quite strong. So, well played to him here in terms of like keeping my units at bay as well. Just really doing a great job positioning. But I mean, even in this match, you can see that the units of mine that actually like lasted and persisted were spearmen. Rather than the knights. I have almost no knights left, but I do have a great like deal of these spearmen last until the very end of the match. So just something I'm learning in medieval in general is heavy foot like defensive spears are really, really solid units for their price. It's really hard to like deal with like that much value sometimes. So yeah, in terms of things I could have done better, definitely think this match was as much lost in force comp as it was in actual tactics. I think I still played it well, considering my force comp was basically hard countered by his. I still got him to 44%, which is, you know, not bad at all. But obviously, the issue is eventually I just ran out of knights. And, yeah, the circle of life in Field of Glory 2 generally, at least in medieval, seems to be that knights and cavalry deal really well with infantry, but archers deal really well with cavalry so long as there is a front line to kind of eat charges from knights and the like. And knights are really susceptible to like shot just in general because they're so expensive, but they don't necessarily get the bonus to cohesion test that Heavyfoot do, and they're easier to disrupt than Heavyfoot as well. These early knights are also only armored, which means that they're like especially vulnerable to getting shot because without that armor, these crossbows in particular and even foot archers are just going to do like horrendous damage to them. So excuse me. So in terms of that, in these earlier lists, it's definitely probably a good idea to have more spearmen, and knights are in a really weird place in the early lists for that reason. Because they still got this super powerful charge, but they're so vulnerable, so easy to just like get disrupted, like getting shot at by only 2 units or something that are like, you know, half their price or whatever, or maybe it's the same price combined, but you know, they're just so cheap. Like in full art at max range, it's actually possible for 2 raw crossbows to like high roll, and these are only like 2 of these is only 48 points. If you brought like 3 of these and shot at knights, you would almost like get a guaranteed check at max range. At which point you would deal, you know, enough casualties to get a check, potentially even get to significant casualties depending on the rolls. Just really, really nasty. And so for that reason, more of these types of units, these deep spears, are fantastic in the early parts of medieval, I think. Regular 36-point defensive spears, even raw spears. Raw spears are fantastic against big projectile blobs like this because he can only shoot so much. And even if he disrupts something, if you have this like this massive line of infantry, it's a lot harder for him to break through it. Just because if a unit gets disrupted, you can move up to cover and that sort of thing. So yeah, well played Dubatin here. Learned a lot of lessons from our two mirrors. So I wanted to thank him for these matches. Even though I did get fairly frustrated at points, this is my first set of mirrors in the entirety of Field of Glory 2 Medieval, and to play against such a highly ranked player is definitely a very sobering experience. So best of luck to him in the future, and I'll see you guys on the next one.